Do you think you almost become like numb to it?
Yeah.
It's like, have you got to? Like, I imagine you just have to not let like too much emotions into it, and you've got to just sort of crack on and sort of keep a
Yeah.
level head.
You obviously there are jobs that bother you, and it's probably the jobs that you don't even expect to bother you. But you do have to find ways to protect yourself, whether it's something as small as, I don't know, you just learn to disconnect sometimes from the situation, from the emotional side, because otherwise you're not going to last a month, because, you're dealing with trauma every single day and situations that most people don't even see in a lifetime, where particularly major frontline staff are seeing every shift. So you do learn to protect yourself from it. Don't get me wrong, as I just said, you have jobs which do bother you, and there are always going to be jobs that bother you because we care. And the minute we stop caring is the minute we shouldn't be doing our job.
Yeah.
But it's learning how to cope with those jobs that do bother you, and having that support system and your coping mechanisms for when you're at home to overcome those trickier jobs.
Yeah. I've got a cousin and a family friend that are both nurses, and sort of quite early on in their careers, they were sort of introduced to sort of, your first dead body almost.
Yeah.
Just to sort of, instead of that being like a lingering thing, to sort of just, this is the worst thing you're going to see potentially.
Yeah.
So you can sort of, like I say, like almost become numb to those sort of situations.
Yeah.
And not have too much emotion around it. So you mentioned you've got to have like your coping mechanisms on how to deal with those situations that may bother you and sort of may come back home with you. What are your sort of ways of coping?
So probably it's really simple. My main ones are I've got the most amazing friends now through work. We obviously all go to the same sorts of jobs. We all see the same sorts of things. We get it. Whereas coming home, people who've never experienced it, no matter how hard you try and explain it, they don't understand it, and you don't really want them to sometimes. So using that support system in work of your friends, even something as simple as giving them a call on your way back, hands-free obviously, from shift, but phoning them.
And driver safety in here as well.
But just phoning them and chatting it through them and being like, do you know what, this has bothered me today. And they say after 72 hours, if you're still thinking about it and can't shift it, I'd escalate it and speak to somebody probably more senior and more qualified in work. And we have part of private healthcare counselling, like online, that we can go through as well. And I think I'm looking into doing almost counselling once a month, not because I need it, but it's there for before
so
I
need
need it.
Isn't it? Yeah.
And even small things like when I come home, if I don't want to talk about a job, as soon as I'm out of my uniform, I don't talk about work. I try not to talk about the day. And I think from my family's point of view, they understand as soon as I'm out of my uniform, that's it. We don't talk about it.
Thank you very much for watching this clip of the podcast. If you'd like to see the full episode, click here. If you're new, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed it, please drop it a like below. Thank you very much.